All right, everybody, so I've gotten a lot of questions about how we built that and how we poured these concrete slabs around the fireplace and how we got them in here. And I'm getting ready to do kind of the same project for a wood burning stove in Pod 4. So I thought I would, get you guys over there and show you how to do it, and off we go. So if you're interested in learning how to build those built-in concrete pedestals, come on, check it out. So today, whoa, back off there, Turbo. Today is a magical day. If you look around, and B, show them just kind of around, Pod 4, what we've been working on. I've got most of it in, as far as the bedroom goes, in drywall.
Except for this hole.
Yep. The reason that hole is still there is because I've got to put the wood burning stove in. And so I'm going to, that's why today's a magical day, right? Okay, so today's a magical day because I'm going to fill that hole. We're going to put the wood burning stove in. And so it's going to go right here. But if you look at the wall, so we're actually going to rock a lot of this wall. I'm going to build some platforms for the stove to sit on because, in my opinion, we're going to get older. And so bending over to load the stove, I'm trying to build for the time when we get a little bit older. So I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get a platform built, get the stove up off the ground, get some rock put in, get the stove put in, get the pipe put in, because it is cold here. When I walked in this room this morning, it was 37, is that right, B?
I think so, 37.
37 degrees in here. So it's a little bit cold, but it's warming up nicely in here now.
What is it now?
Now it's 42 right now. If you look at the little thermostat right here, which this is one of the reasons I love the mini split systems, is because it gives me a reading in each individual room and allows me to control each individual room. Take 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what in the world is this? Anybody seen such a weird thing? Well, come on, let's check it out. Okay, so this will be a pedestal for the stove to sit on. So why would we want a pedestal for the stove to sit on? Well, because we're getting older and I don't want to have to bend over as much, so I want it to sit up off the ground to make it easier to load. Okay, this little section over here will be for where we hang the tools, and this section over here will be for firewood. But I know it looks weird, right? It's because I'm framing for the space for concrete. I'm going to fill this entire section here with concrete. Okay? Same with this one. So this will be a concrete top. So everything you see in this, okay, you will not see in the finished product. Okay? Let me explain. So the top will be concrete, and then we're going to pull this whiteboard off here and the 2x2 that's down in here. And I'll show you how I put it together. But I want the concrete to flow over the edge, okay? And I'll show you why. This here will be concrete. Again, you'll set tools on them. This down here will be rocked. It'll look just like my other fireplace that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Let me show you how I put this together. So first of all, this is just a 2x6 frame, okay? So just a 2x6 frame in here. And then I covered it with a scrap piece of plywood. Guys, a project like this, don't use great wood on. You're not going to see, there's no piece of this wood, anything that you see, you're going to see in the final product. So then, after I get the size built that I want, I come in and I measured down 1.5 inches from this lip here down to here, and I put a 2x2 on. The reason for that is when that concrete flows over, I want it to cover this edge, because if you don't, then when you're sitting back from it, you will see this plywood line. So you want the concrete to completely come over the edge. So I run a 2x2 frame, okay, all the way around, and then I'm going to put a 1x6 on the outside, which will give me a pour on this top of 2.5 inches. Okay? Simple, right? So we'll fill this all full of concrete. Okay, so then, like I was showing you a minute ago, let's go over here. So I will frame it with a 1x6 on the outside. Okay, like this one, this one, this one, right? And then I need to put a 1x6 still in the center. So let's look at this up here. Here's a completed frame. See? All right, this nice tight seam in here, and this is creating the outside lip of the concrete. You'll also notice there's some screws down in here. Right, every so often I've got a screw, and that's so that the concrete has something else to kind of bind to. Okay, so I just built the frame, put some 2x2s, put some 1x6 on the outside, and eventually I'll fill this in concrete. And I like building in normal sizes, so I got a 1x6 frame on the bottom. I'm sorry, 2x6 frame on the bottom, green treated because it's hitting concrete, and then a 1x12 frame for the top. So I'll get back to work and I'll continue on my progress. Okay, so now I've got it all the way framed, ready for the concrete. Right? So remember, all of these boards on the outside and this 2x2 on the inside is going to come off so that the concrete again wraps the corner. So the one thing I have left, two things I have left to do, is I'm going to put a bead of caulk on this outside seam right here. And the reason why is I want the bottom to kind of be curved coming up on the edge just to clean it up just a little bit. And then the other thing is, I'm going to put some rebar or some wire mesh, just depending on what I've got. And then we'll pour the concrete. Stay tuned. So if you look, I got the metal in there. And a lot of people use rebar. Typically I would use rebar. You can also use wire mesh. But for me, I had some clippings of cattle panels left over, just some little pieces sitting in a pile. And so I'll use them in sidewalks. I'll use them in all kinds of things. So we're going to donate a couple old cattle panels to the concrete pour, and B and I will mix it up, and stay tuned. Be back to you. All right, guys, I caught her. I busted her again. Come on, let's check it out. What are you doing?
Playing.
How come you're always slacking?
Look, it makes bubbles.
You're making bubbles. No, seriously, what are you doing?
No, I'm trying to make sure that this edge, that it's all pounded in there so there's no hollow spots in my finished edge.
Yeah, so how do you do that?
I was just trying to bang it. Like kind of.
Just stuffing it down in there?
Yeah, but see, you see bubbles coming up, so.
Yeah, you can also hit it with a hammer on the outside. You can use a sander to kind of vibrate it,
Oh, I could try that. Let me try that.
Oh. But what is this? Give us the scoop. What are you making?
This is the platform for the wood burning stove.
How do you manage to stay so clean?
I don't fling it all over the place.
Because I am completely covered in concrete. How does that work?
That's because you work like a wood chipper.
How's it going?
Good.
What are you doing?
Trying to finish this.
Bet you guys didn't know B was a concrete finisher, did you? She didn't know either.
Doesn't that look better?
Looks great. It's absolutely great. So as I mentioned before, this area here, I'll actually build a rack to put firewood on. The stove will go on this one. The pop out on the bottom, I just popped out to break the, the tall platform up a little bit, give it some character. And this side she'll put her tools on for the stove. So, why'd you build the platform so tall, B?
So I could dance on it. No, so the stove can go right there.
So, but why so tall? Why don't you just put the stove on the ground? Wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah. You didn't want to bend over.
I'm not a big fan of bending over. It hurts.
Yeah, so we can load it standing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Someday, B and I are going to be old. And so I really am trying to build our house in a manner that's very friendly to being older in age. But if you look, she did a great job finishing it. And she's still working on it. But
yeah,
pretty quick, she'll get it all done. The stuff that's on the ground, the wet stuff, we'll just scrape it all up. It won't be a big deal. tomorrow I'll take the forms off and I'll show you guys what it looks like. And I'll start the process of putting the stove up through that hole up there. And I've been kind of racing to get the stove in because I really don't want to be out here when it's 8 degrees trying to work. So apparently I'm turning into a Sally in my old age. Do you think I'm turning into a Sally B?
No, it's weird. It's just more convenient.
Are you just being nice?
No, I agree. You make valid points, so I'm with you.
I think this was a great idea. Good job thinking about it.
Yeah.
All B.
Dilly.
All right, everybody. So got it all finished up. Now it just needs to dry. So I thought I'd just give you the quick, kind of tour. So here they are. B did a great job getting them all finished. I'm going to walk over here real quick. And the other side. Again, this is brought up off the ground so that I can put the stove up there, which makes it, I don't have to bend over as much in order to, stoke it. So I thought I'd just give you a quick cost breakdown. So I used 24 2x6s in this, I used 6 2x6s at a cost of $24. I used 4 2x12s at a cost of $45. And 8 bags of concrete at a cost of $40. So I spent $109 building this platform, and lots more to do. Got to take the frames off. Got to put rock. I'm going to rock all the way around it, so it'll look much like the one in my living room that I showed you guys. So anyway, I'll keep you posted. Okay, guys. So I pulled the frames off, and it's been sitting now about 18 hours. And so you can still see some discoloration in it, which just means where it's wetter and drier. But it's tough enough you can stand on, walk on. I wouldn't want to drop a log on it or anything right now, but it'll be all right. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna put the stove on it, and then get working on running the pipe up through the ceiling and hopefully get the ceiling capped off and the flashing in up there, so at least it's functional before the cold weather comes back to us. Stay tuned. Okay, so installing the stove, the first thing I'm going to do is install this gasket right here. See this? And there's a sticky, look down here, there's sticky tape behind it. And I'm just going to peel it off, right? And just work myself around this screw. So that's step one in installing the stove. Okay, so you see I put this gasket all the way in, all the way around. And don't skip this step because this stops the smoke from coming out of the seam. But so it's super easy once you get that done. There's little holes that it goes in. Okay? That's the only place that it can go, is right there. Then we're going to use these screws, right, for these holes right here. You're just going to make sure that flap is back up underneath the lip. Tighten it down, and you're done. Easy peasy, step one. Okay, so the next piece is this stove adapter. And so if you look, see these ridges on here? This is what allows the double and triple wall pipe to cinch down tight to it. So it goes to the inside like this, snaps kind of down in there, and then there's some holes in here. And this is going to allow me to put some set screws in it, which I won't do until I get the chimney all the way installed. Okay, so just in case somebody don't know, this stainless steel pipe that goes in, there's little knobs on it right here, and this allows you to twist and lock the two pipes together. The other thing is, if you look on the tag, right here, it tells you which side's up, right? So it's pretty hard to screw up. This is a great pipe. And hey, by the way, last time I bought this pipe for another project, I paid $119 for a 3-foot piece, and today I found them at Menards at $89 a piece. So still, $100 for a 3-foot section, but certainly a lot better. So if you're looking at finding stovepipe, now would be a good time. Okay, so if you look at all these little holes that I drilled them from the bottom side in the circle that I need to cut out. See these? And so I'm just gonna cut that out here real quick, but the best way to do that is to first start with a pilot hole. I'm gonna drill me a pilot hole in here. Right? So this hole right here will allow me to get in with my jigsaw. See right there? I cut the hole out here, and so the pipe that's coming out of it's 8 inches, and so you want to make sure that you get 2 inches of space or thereabouts on either side of it, and so that it can come out and the heat, you know, won't bother it. And there's a big collar that's going to go on top of here, and then another piece of flashing. But first things first, I got to get the pipe coming out of the hole, and then I can come back up and flash it and get it sealed in and ready to go. I'm going to real quick, I got a little bit of cut right there, so I'm going to come in here and just straighten these edges out just a little bit, make it a little more round, but not too bad, and it'll work just fine. Well, so there's a nice big hole in my roof. Boy, is it a skylight? What is it? Yeah, well, here we go. Okay, so that black box is going to slide up into my attic space. So I'm getting ready to come through the hole, put the top on, and then I'll come back down. That's super simple. Okay, so just come up here. I am closing in. So frame these boards in on the top and the bottom, and so now I'm going to put them on this side so that I have somewhere to nail the drywall to. I'll get both of them done. We'll insulate this area, and then we'll finish the drywall, and we will call it a wrap. Well, that's all she wrote. So the stove's in, pipes in, transfers goes out the ceiling, the drywall is completed in the room. So if it's gonna snow, I'm gonna have heat where I'm working, and that is exciting. Hey, one other interesting thing. So, you know, I told you guys that I built this